right, making some burgers today. Oh shit! So we're just gonna get all set up. Gonna need a pan for this. Let's get that ready over here. With some breadcrumbs. Some Worcestershire sauce. Garlic. Need an egg, of course. Let's see here. Always have to have an egg. Let's see here. Should probably take one of them out. We don't care what people say. Dun, 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 dun. Where the hell? Where's my teaspoon? Tablespoon. What up? Making some burgers. This is 85 lean, 85% lean, 15% fat. Usually I like to go for 96.4 for the burgers because I think it helps them stay together a lot longer. And if you do it this way with our breadcrumbs, Worcestershire sauce, an egg, and milk, your burgers are going to be a lot juicier despite being a lower fat content. Yeah. So let's get our 14%, not 14%, 15% burgers in here, 15% fat, that is. Let's get that in there. We're going to do half a cup of breadcrumbs. This is it's going to act like a little mini sponge in here. And it's going to soak up all the moisture, so not a lot of it escapes. So we have burger meat, and then we have our breadcrumbs. Burger meat, it's our ground beef. Okay. Let's see here. Worcestershire sauce, that's always a big plus. This is going to add some juiciness and that umami flavor. We're going to put, I don't know where here's my tablespoon. My tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of it in. I like to put a little bit more. Let's do a little more. Yikes. Let's put 2. Okay, and then we're gonna crack an egg in here. This is gonna help it to stay juicy. It's gonna help to bind it together. I'm not a professional. I've just read all of this stuff in a book. So do your own research. Got some garlic, of course. Put some garlic in there. I'm just gonna eyeball this right now. Yeah, that looks good. And then of course we need salt and pepper. But first, we'll put some milk. I've always been told that milk makes a great burger. So we're gonna put about a teaspoon in. Seems insignificant. but my burgers have been unbeatable for several years. So we got our salt and pepper. I'm gonna put my pepper first. There's no set amount that you put in. It's just preference. It's all preference. I like a lot of pepper, so I'm gonna shake this thing in there and really dump this out in there. I don't know if anybody else likes pepper, but I love pepper. Here we go. There we go. All right, now for our salt. Our salt's gonna be a completely different thing. You're gonna wanna measure this out. I usually do about a poundful. Depends on how many times you've done it before. I've done this a million times, so I know exactly not exactly, I guess I know around how much I put into my recipe, and it's gonna be like that much. And that should be good. And then, you know what? We're gonna make this a little special tonight. We have some new Chipotle chili pepper that I picked up from the store yesterday. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put about a pinch or two in, just a dash. All kinds of different measurements here today. I know what's happening. All right, let's wash our hands because we're about to get them all kinds of dirty. Now, a lot of professional chefs will tell you that you shouldn't, over process, over mash, whatever, over mix the ground beef. And to a point that's true, because then it starts just tasting like mush. It loses that the beef texture when you're making the burgers. But I don't know. My burgers have never tasted horrible. They've always tasted like really, really good. So I'm just gonna fucking do my thing. What's your guys' thoughts on smash burgers? I'm not a huge fan of smash burgers. Wait, no, hold on. I love Culver's. So if Culver's is considered a smash burger, I love that. I also like Kopp's too. So Kopp's, if you're in the Wisconsin area, you'll know what that is. It's a staple. Their burgers are pretty fantastic too. They might be smash burgers. I just find that smash burgers are just like a little, I don't know. I like them to look pretty. Smash burgers are often all over the place. They're called smash burgers? Pretty sure they're called smash burgers. But I'm not a huge fan of them. Unless they're from Culver's, of course. Which you can't not eat Culver's. Especially their burgers or Kopp's. Alright, so when you're done with this meat and all seasoned up, it should look like this. So you're gonna want to get a pan ready. Today I'm using stainless steel. I'm trying to get away from the whole non-stick stuff because apparently there's a million microplastics, even though we've been eating them off of them for like 20 years now. So who knows what's right? We're already screwed probably. But I digress. Okay. Gonna get your handy dandy scale out. And then I'm gonna measure out about 5 ounces. It's gonna be rather big. Excuse me. All right, let's do 4.6. This is all right. All right. Ooh. Ever seen the show Aqua Teen Hunger Force? There's Meatwad. All right, 4.6 ounces. Sorry, 4.6 ounces. Oh, go pan to the side. And we're gonna form this into a patty. I find that burgers are the quickest, one of the quickest meals to make if you're not trying to put a whole lot of effort into dinner. And here we go. Have your burger patty. Delicious, I'll tell you that much. I've been making these new ones with this Italian breadcrumbs because they have a little bit of oregano and what else is in there? Parsley? Oregano and parsley. It really gives the burger color, so you can see specks of green in there. There's no garlic, but we did put the garlic and onion powder in, so that'll take care of that. Hey babe, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Making some burgers.
How's the burgers going?
They're going pretty good. About to start to cook right now.
Nice.
Alright. Thanks, babe. So with the 85-15, you might want to make your burgers slightly bigger than normal, only because they have 15% fat, they're going to shrink. I think a significant amount. I've never tried 15% yet, but I know 20 shrinks a lot. Yeah. So I do have a mixture of 96.4 back as a backup, just in case this thing shrivels up to like a tiny little hockey puck. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm gonna move you guys right over here to a better spot. All right, check that out. Huh. Okay, we're gonna wait for our pan to get warm. I'm just using this avocado canned oil. Oh, that's amazing. All right, so once that comes up to temperature, we can put our burger on. But for right now, I'm gonna saran wrap the other one so they stay fresh and put that in the fridge. We can eat that for lunch or dinner tomorrow. What are your favorite quick recipes to make for dinner? Here's the rules. It has to be under 15 minutes to make. And it has to be delicious. Go. Quick little cleanup. Here we go. Some warm. Get in there. Okay, what are you doing? What kind of burgers? What up, dude? What kind of burgers? Just regular burgers. I don't know. Cheeseburgers? I'm from Wisconsin, so we always have to put cheese on it. Alright, here we go. Nice. Not nearly hot enough, but we'll leave it on a little bit longer. Here we go. Get your thermometer ready. You always have to have a thermometer. Not usually for burgers, but for bigger cuts of meat, it's nice to have just so you always know, when it's going to be done, what temperature it's at, and how juicy it's going to be, how tender it's going to be. So it's always a good thing to have. They have these ones that you get from like a pack. Unfortunately, this is battery operated, but they do have ones that you plug into a USB. They're really, really convenient, so you don't have to swap out that battery every once in a while. It's not a huge inconvenience, but if you can, why wouldn't you? As you can see, our burger's cooking. Smells pretty good. Let's turn up the heat a little bit. We're gonna try and sear the outside to get a nice little crust growing. Make some texture for our burger. Let's pray that this thing doesn't shrink all too much. We're going to be using the brioche bun, of course. Brioche is delicious. And it's only about 20 or 30 more calories than your normal bun. And I think it just has a buttery taste to it, and it just looks way nicer than a normal bun. I mean, how can you beat that? Get a better looking one. Just for the stream. Just for the stream. Okay. Burger skinny, so we don't have to cook it for too long. So what I noticed already on this burger is that there's a significantly more oil in the pan than normal. Normally with the 96.4, there's not a whole lot of fat in the pan, but this one right now I can see it leaking out because it's 15% fat. So interesting. Where's my plate? Okay, guess we're using Magic Cat today. There we go. My favorite plate. It's got the little cat up there. All right. What's your favorite toppings on burgers? And oh, actually, hold on. What kind of cheese do you use? Today, I picked up some American cheese. I like the way that it melts on the burger. I usually get a cheddar, like a sharp cheddar. That's always good. Did you see that? That was kind of perfect, right? Putting a little bit of Japanese mayo on my bun. There's nothing too different about it. It just tastes a little bit more tangy than normal mayonnaise. You can also get that with Duke's mayonnaise as well. That's pretty good stuff too. Okay. Get the cheese going. American cheese seems to melt a lot better too. I've noticed that. But yeah. So here we go. Here's our burger with our cheese. Let's temp this real quick, because if it's getting into the upper 130s, we're gonna pull it. All right, we're at about 114, 115, 117, 118. So we're about a rare right now, which is really nice. Where we like to be. You know, I haven't cooked these new kind of like burgers that I'm doing with the higher fat content rare. So I'm gonna pull it in about 2 seconds. But that cheese hasn't quite melted yet. So here's a little trick. You grab one of these covers and you see how it fits nicely over here. This is a glass of water. There's just any water. You're gonna pour it into your pan and you're gonna cover it up. You're gonna cover it up and all that steam is gonna rise, but it has no place to go. Except, well, this doesn't exactly fit, but you'll see the result in a second. So it's gonna melt that cheese at a much quicker pace than it normally would. Bam, and we're done. As you can see, we're fully melted on there, and we're ready to go. If I can just find my spatula. Ooh, right here. Bam. Do you have your burger? Oh, almost missed the bun. There we go. Turn our burner off. We're gonna bring it right back over here. Here we go. Son of a bilge. Okay, so there's our burger. Got our mayonnaise in there. It's a hot pan. Okay, now got our ketchup. I'm gonna drizzle that all over the top. Oh God. All right, then we got some spinach. I like the spinach over the iceberg lettuce. It lays on there flatter. It's a lot greener. I just don't like the iceberg lettuce for whatever reason. I have a theory that it is better for you. I can't prove that, but that's what I think in my head. So it just looks nicer, I think. All right, that's done. We have onion and tomato left. So we'll put that in there. So I used to not be a big onion or tomato guy on the burger, but ever since a few days ago when I tried it again, it really brings the flavors together. You know, I don't like the look of that onion. Let's get a bigger one. Boom. And there you have it. You have your burger. And that was about 20 minutes to cook that thing. Takes about 10 minutes to cook it, but with all the stream, it says 22 minutes. So, well, if you're still here, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.